of this season. Domonique, Cowboys in Cleveland. Who will have more passing yards, Dak Prescott or Deshaun Watson?
Oh, I appreciate you handing me this layup. It's Dak Prescott. I think that Browns' defense is very tough. They're going to play a lot of man coverage, though, and I think that Dak is going to be able to pick that apart. It's not as much a vote of confidence of Dak as much as it's just accepting that Deshaun Watson's been bad for a while, and I have no reason to believe that that's going to change this season.
Jeff, the opening Sunday night game is a rematch of a wild card game between the Rams and Lions. So who you got for more passing touchdowns, Stafford or Goff?
I'm going to go Stafford. Now, that doesn't mean I think they're going to win the game. I think that the Lions want to run the ball more than the Rams do. But I like Stafford. This guy continues to play excellent football. He's going to distribute the ball well. And I look for the Rams to have a great season. I'm actually excited about their season.
If the Lions had run the ball in the second half of the NFC Championship game last year, they might have won the whole thing. Kmart, we'll see new quarterbacks on both sides of this one. Falcons, Steelers. Who you got for more passing yards, Russell or Kirk Cousins?
Oh, give me Kirko Chains, though, because I know he's not afraid to throw it deep. Listen, free Bijan Robinson, free all these guys that have been on this offense, and we've been dying to see him. I think the issue with the Steelers, I think this is a better Steelers team, but week one, where you got Jalen Warren dealing with the hamstring, you got offensive line injuries left and right, I think those safe money's on Cousins.
So look, these are the two veteran quarterbacks that have the guys behind them. In Atlanta, they drafted Michael Penix high. So it's just a matter of when he's going to get on the field. In Pittsburgh, Justin Fields, the Steelers gave up almost nothing for him. So Russell has the opportunity to hold him off indefinitely if he plays well. So I'm going to ask the question this way. As far as when Mike Tomlin will start thinking about making a quarterback change, I'm not suggesting he'll do it, but if I put the over-under, no, when he'll start thinking about it, if I put the over-under at halftime of week one.
Thank you for coming back. You see what?
Oh my God, bro.
Mid-season
You're
fool.
shameless. Shameless.
I'm telling you that thought is going to go through his head in the second quarter in Atlanta when they go 3 and out for the third consecutive time.
Wow,
and he's thinking to himself, you know, I got this kid over here who can run. At least we can do something. Is the thought going to go through his mind?
Yeah. I think the thought's going through his mind right now. You say over under halftime, way under. He's been thinking about it the whole time. Like, what are we doing here?
Y'all are haters, bro.
I'm not a hater.
Yes,
I would love for Russell to be good. But I'm not going to delude myself into thinking that something's going to happen that hasn't happened in a long time. People don't get healthier. People don't get faster. People don't get better as they get older. I can speak from experience. So Russ, I think, is who he's going to be. And I think that this team doesn't have enough to have like the game manager style quarterback and be successful on offense. The defense at some point is going to get frustrated if they keep holding people to low scores and Russ is not putting up points.
By the way, Russ is also not a game manager. We perceive him that way relative to Justin Fields because he has so much more experience. But the reality is he takes sacks left and right. He has a lot of negative plays, all the things you don't want game managers to do. So, look, I am an unabashed Justin Fields fan. I'm going down on that ship, and if I go down, I go down. I believe that change is coming.
Okay, the first half of the first game.
I'm not saying he'll bench him. I'm saying he'll think about it.
A little early. Here's the thing. Mike Tomlin has had a guy named Duck Hodges be his starter. Mason Rudolph has been.
Right.
He's got some patience, okay? I mean, he's got some patience. So I'm just going to give the credit to Mike Tomlin that he understands. And by the way, you have Arthur Smith now as their offensive coordinator, who the style of Russell Wilson does fit his play calling. And by the way, he just had a awful experience with Ritter in Atlanta. So he's looking for some consistency, right? And I'm not saying he is more of a manager, but he does have more experience in the game than just, and will understand they don't have to win games offensively. They can win defensively. They just got to protect themselves offensively. And I think that's what they're expecting from Russell Wilson. Run the ball, be effective, have Pickens make some big plays, stretch the field somewhat, but understand defense is going to win them a championship if they have any aspirations of doing that.
I'm so glad you're back. Can I push back a little bit on what Jeffrey said?
Sure.
Here's the thing. Patience is a virtue, but it could also be your downfall. You mentioned Duck Hodges. Here's another name, Matt Canada, Kenny Pickett, Mitchell Trubisky. Mike Tomlin has had patience. Yeah. Some could say too much patience. And so after last year, this is a guy who's never had a losing season. He doesn't want it to start now. I will say, in fairness to Russell, he's been named a captain. He's been given pole position. So as much as you and I, Greeny, are riding that Justin Fields train as far as like, do not give up on this kid. He can be really good in the NFL. Mike Tomlin has shown this is going to be my starter. Now, I do think around week 4, where you got Atlanta, you got Denver Chargers, and the Colts. Then they face the Dallas Cowboys right after.
Here's the schedule.
I think after week 4, I think Mike Tomlin now has to make some, because their bye week, I think, isn't until week 8 or week 9, probably, something like that.
Listen, can I push back on that?
Ooh, push away.
Their schedule is so brutally backloaded.
I know.
They need to bank wins early. If this team goes into the second half of their season 500,
you don't think they could beat those 4 teams? Atlanta, Denver, Chargers, Indy?
Sure they can. I'm saying if Russell Wilson is struggling, I think he needs to make a change faster than you might normally
so you
see.
Justin
because you can't
Fields
afford
gives
to
them a
lose.
better chance to win games.
Yes.
Okay.
I
So,
mean, obviously, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Is I think there's at least a possibility of that. Now, Mike Tomlin obviously disagrees,
Right.
and he has forgotten more about football already this morning than I'll ever know. So who am I to disagree with him? But I do. I do.
I'm glad.
You can be too close to a situation also. So, like, I agree with you, Greeny, and there's not a whole bunch in Justin Fields' track record that suggests that he is going to be some sort of great savior quarterback. But I do think there's more optimism there because there's more green in front of his career than there is in front of Russ. And you pointed out something that I'm definitely guilty of. Like, Russ seems stable. Russ is, like, he says all the right things.
Because he's old.
He presents as a stable quarterback, a game manager, but he is not. And I think that if he's making the mistakes that Justin Fields would make, which is taking a lot of sacks, if he's doing that, we can do it with a guy who has explosive play ability. Why are we going to do that with a guy who doesn't seem to have that ability?
It's going to be a fascinating game to watch. And even while Russell is in there, how much will Fields get in, package here, whatever it is, goal line.
but you're dirty. You're dirty. Just so you know that. You're dirty. You're dirty.
One man's dirty is another man's right. So we'll see how that turns